What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Normally, I'm always doing shows on Thursday. I might do a quick pop up show, but after the interview, that happened, I talked about it. So, respect, open the lines up for everybody to come through, and you state your opinion on this. But let me get the intro started, and then we can talk. But hit that like and subscribe button on the way in. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Man, we might as well just go ahead and jump right into it or whatever. Just like grandmama told you to jump into the bathtub, get a little water on you or whatever before she put that strap on your backside. We getting ready to do a little bit of that today. But before we go ahead and get started, hit that like and subscribe button, man. We got a hell of a lot to talk about right about now. So, Kirk Cousins goes on to ESPN earlier today to speak on the fact that he was injured in week 10 versus the Saints. Now, here's the question. Is he sabotaging us again? Because the NFLPA has to look into this now that he's mentioned it. Kirk is playing chess, not checkers, ladies and gentlemen. Understand this. The second thing is he showing Raheem Morris's incompetence at this point? That is the question. But damn it, I got to open up the lines for folks to come through here. I'm going to let C-Dub come in here and talk for a sec. C-Dub, what's going on, man?
Man, just been busy. I just got on the treadmill. I saw your message. I was like, you know what? I am still heated about this. Let me jump here.
So and wait a minute before you fall. If you fall on this treadmill while you're sitting here doing this, or you have a heart attack, no recipients of the bird, no personnel or recipients of the Birdcage LLC will be responsible for a heart attack, injury, or anything else. So this is a verbal agreement that has been put out here. So if you fall and bust your ass, that is on you, Mr. Postman.
Hold on. I will give you consent because here's the thing. I'm not going to Kirk Cousins the Birdcage, okay? I won't do that.
You can't, because guess what? I already covered my ass with a verbal contract just now. You agreeing to it.
Hold on. But you have to agree too.
I'm agreeing to that. Now, if
I do fall on my ass on this treadmill, you have all right.
I'm letting you know it's Kirk Cousins. So if you coming in here, don't speak on New Orleans today. That's for Thursday. So if you're coming in here to talk about New Orleans, I'm putting the boot to your ass, Mr. Postman. So we got Will into the building and we got Antonio in here. So I'm letting y'all know now. This is Kirk Cousins and Falcons only. This is a quick pop-up show. We will talk New Orleans next week. Later this week. So with the BS that's been going on with the Falcons at this point, hey, you got to turn on your camera, man. We got to have the face on the camera. Thank you. Will, please go ahead and tap in. Got to
Or
see
just
that
put the
face,
light on.
brother. Yeah, I think he might have turned the light off. So let's talk
Yeah.
about it. Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins got onto live television today with an interview and spoke on the fact that he was injured in Week 10 versus the New Orleans Saints. Week 10, he was injured. And Raheem Morris and everybody doubled down on this and said he was good to go. Now, as a head coach, or hell, if anybody's ever coached football or any sport, when you have an athlete that is hurt, you can play them when they're hurt. But if you have an athlete that is injured, you got to protect them from themselves. You have to protect them from themselves, no matter what level it is. The level of incompetence that we have with our head coach right now is showing.
It's
showing. Gentlemen, please.
They might want to bring Koo on the show too.
Yeah,
because he played hurt too.
You might want to go ahead, Antonio.
Raheem just overlooked like when you talk about incompetence, like like you said, Kirk is playing check. He playing chess right now for real. For real. Because this right here, like,
this is why I think a lot of people. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Now, I just keep thinking it's like this is why a lot of people kept saying, is Terry over his skis? And when he goes and picks Penix, it's like, there's something up. Like my problem with Terry is everything's collaborative. Everything is this. Everything we make this decision. Who's we? Tell me who all the guys are so we can get them all together. But my problem is now you have Raheem, who a lot of us were like, this guy's got to go. And people were like, oh, no, give Rod a chance. Let him cook. Guys, Kirk Cousins is showing you how bad this leadership is because there was never accountability. And they just let him do his thing. And the other thing is this. Look how many times people have asked questions about the health report and we never got answers. At least with Arthur Smith, you got answers. Even though we hated the guy, he gave you answers. If
you go back and you look at it, Kirk was on the injury report one day.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only reason why they took him off because he had a full practice that day, and they took him off for the rest of the week.
So, okay, but there you go. And it's like, so if Kirk, it's like what Ryan said, are you hurt or are you injured? If you're hurt, we get it, but then your play is affecting the team. And, man, and then he comes off. And like I said, my thing is, one of my first response was, what good does it do to come out with this now? What do you think is supposed to come out of this?
So hold up. So I gotta go ahead and let James jump on this because James jumped in from the work floor, and we want our man to we want our boy to keep his job. We don't want him to get fired on his day off. Yeah. Tomorrow if he's off.
Yeah.
James, what you got, big dog? We see
you. So this looking ugly on both sides.
Yeah.
It really is because for the simple fact you knew he got hurt that Saints game, but you still play the man, even if he had a smooth practice, you still play him because for the simple fact it is, if you rest and Penix comes in and fires up like he did the last 3 games, then that's a lost cause. So you rather injure the man further for the financial gain. Is that what I'm getting at?
Yeah, because the shoulder don't get better by throwing with it. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the throws he was having to make.
Every time you rotate that joker, that thing gonna hurt.
No. And think about it, fellas. When you look at, we'll speak on this. Kirk is coming forward. So I wouldn't even call it a sabotage. I pretty much call it at this point. He just calling a spade at this point because the next person that got hurt, the first person that got hurt was Koo. Exactly. Let's be honest. Nobody has talked about this. We all talking about Kirk right now, but Koo was the first one that got hurt. And then after he gets hurt, you already see what the issues are when it comes to Kirk. Kirk is throwing everything out here now. Kirk didn't mind letting you know that he tampered. He didn't mind being the honest guy. He didn't mind telling you that he was injured and this is what's going on. At this point, you got to have a heart-to-heart talk as Terry Fontenot. You got to have a heart-to-heart talk at this point with your quarterback. Even though he's a backup at this point, you got to let him know, like, look, the first stunt is excusable. The first stunt, yeah, we might have lost a pick. We got that back. We get that. But this second thing that you did nationally and you publicly put this out here, now you force my hand. It's time for you to go at this point.
Yep.
It sucks. But Atlanta, it's going to be hard because it's a $60 million cap hit that Atlanta would take if this happens. If they get rid of him this year.
Yeah. Well, you got to look at that Terry interview that Terry did at the end of the season. When he did it, he just made Terry look like a straight ass clown.
Yeah.
Straight clown, because Terry was like, "Oh, he was healthy. We had no doubts about that." And I posted it in our little chat group. I was like, "Damn, this getting bad."
So, do this make the hot seat even hotter for Raheem?
No.
Oh yeah.
To me, no,
it does. Oh, it does.
Yeah.
To me, it don't. Let me explain. Because for the simple fact it is, he more than likely during those practice sessions, they went up to Kurt to see how Kurt was feeling, and Kurt may have been lying to them the whole time and telling them that, "Hey, I'm all right, I'm fine," when clearly he wasn't.
But
and that's a back end issue, because for the simple fact it is, if his shoulder hurting and everything, and he don't want to get, because you with these QBs, sometimes their arrogance get in the way of their injury. You got to look at it that way as well, because for the simple fact it is, if I got a rookie behind me, that if I get set on the bench and he lights it up, then I'm never seeing the field again. So it can play out on both parts, but at hand it's still, I don't think it lights the seat up a little bit, because for the simple fact it is of my quarterback, because as a coach, I'm gonna check in with my quarterback every week if he's hurting or is he dealing with an injury, and say, "Hey, are you doing all right? You doing okay? How your shoulder feel? How your elbow feel? Things like that of that nature."
Well, let me select at your camera because we can't see you, bro.
Let me say this.
Oh, I was partaking in some stuff.
Oh no, I got you. I was just making sure because I was like, let me make sure.
Let me say this.
Hold on, Ron. James, you ever turned on the heated seats in the Cadillac in the summertime?
Oh no,
Yeah, that shit hot.
No, but at hand, I don't think it still turns it up or not, because it may be a deception on the quarterback himself doing it as well.
It turns it up that
though.
But let me say this.
Hold up. I got to be the voice of reason. Look, I'm gonna let you talk, but I can't let you take over, because I already know once you get in that mode, I know what it is. But I want to ask you this because it's a question I need you to answer. Now, we were talking about this off the camera about how everything went down. Ron, I want to know this from you. Do you feel as if we're gonna have major issues now if the NFLPA gets involved? Do you think the hot seat turns up on Terry Fontenot as well, because he's just as guilty as Raheem in this situation?
Yes.
I want give the folks an explanation on that.
One, action speak louder than the word. If I see you not the same way in practice, why would I let you start the football game? Actions speak louder than words. If your arm not going all the way through and you be like, ouch, you don't need to play. Point blank.
The one thing that he said in that interview, when he said that, when he took that hit in the Saints game, and I told y'all on the eye test, I said after that, when when Cousins got hit in that game, he was done.
Right.
And when he said that his elbow and his shoulder was messed up, and it never got right after that, Raheem, that looked real bad.
Right. I got one question. I ain't even interrupt. But my thing is, go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
You watch Kirk Cousins during the week. You watch him during the week. This player like I've been saying, Raheem don't know how to build a team. He don't. This proves my point right here.
He don't have no accountability, bro.
If
Hold
I
on.
pay
Will had something
Exactly.
he wanted to add to the pot. Go ahead and let Will cook on this one. What you got, Will?
My thing is, I'm gonna be real with you fellas. Raheem Morris knew this man was hurt after that Saints game and after the Denver game. And we went on bye week. That was the perfect chance to at least get Michael Penner some reps. And what's his name on eye test?
John.
He said it. What's his name? John. John said he Kirk Cousins was was on a questionable for shoulder and elbow. But
What?
during the week when we played the Broncos game, that week I think we left on a Saturday night. But my thing with Raheem Morris, he this dude don't be confident. He's not accountable. He always chewing gum. I just don't trust the guy. I'm really trusting the players, and I'm more I trust Raheem because Raheem Morris just tell us dreams. That's all I got to say, man. He got to prove it to me this year.
Well, Will, you wanted him fired after the first loss. And it's true. It's true. It's not just Will, but it's many Falcon fans who wanted him fired after the first loss of the season to pretty much Pittsburgh. Everybody was like, "Oh, here we go. We selling the dream." It was a lot of people who was on that train. Will just happened to be one that's been consistent with saying that he want him gone. But guess what? At this point, you subject yourself to seeing Raheem Morris out the door. At this point, just being honest, because this is a situation that hurt the organization as a whole. As a whole, because guess what? If Kirk was forced to play and they lied to the media and doubled down, as we all talked about behind closed doors, guess what? That is a lawsuit of having an employee work in an unsafe environment and he was injured. That right there is a lawsuit. So Kirk Cousins right now is playing chess, getting ready to get this bag, if this is true. And if the NFLPA actually investigates in this. This is a mess. It is a mess.
But isn't it something? This is coming from Terry. They signed him. They signed Kurt. He dry snitches in the opening salvo. Then he's out here doing interviews talking about how he was hurt. And it's just, that just shows you sometimes you can try to be nice and everything, but this is a business. And again, I just feel like Terry and Raheem have just gotten exposed on how bad they are because the other thing, now you're going to have the NFL looking at what you're doing. Because think about it, they haven't been upfront with the injury report a lot. So now they're going to dig even harder, and man, that's not easy to get away from.
Yeah, the only thing right now that's going to save Terry and Raheem's job, one, they're going to have to get this draft like 100% correct, and they're going to have to make a deep playoff run this year.
That ain't going to help.
But
I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to help. The reason I'm saying that's not going to help is because when you look at, I'm going to say this here, when you look at the fact that you're getting ready to have a lawsuit on your hands if everything lines up the way that Kirk has said it. Because guess what? Young Way Cool, you got another one that they're going to talk to. They're going to talk to him. Think about that. Cool was hurt. Cool was playing hurt.
Yeah.
Yes, he was we call him point shaving ass Cool on the show. That's just his nickname from us. But at the same time, you got to look at the fact that the man was hurt last year too with Arthur Smith. There was stuff in the Arthur Smith regime that was hidden too when it came to injury. If y'all remember that.
Right, Bijan.
Hennessy was hurt. Bijan wasn't hurt.
No, man, he got
it's a little. Hey, Ron, I'm gonna tell you this here without saying it. Bijan had some other stuff that was off the field that needed to be tended to. That's all it'll go as. No. That's all I'm gonna leave it as.
Are you talking about when he was acting?
He wasn't hurt. There was something else
that wasn't hurt.
We will not be speaking on the show. So stop asking, stop prodding and pushing, because I'm gonna tell you, hell no, it's not coming out. So let it go. Let it go.
So,
I'm about to start singing
hold
JT
it back
Money on you
anymore.
in a
Let it
minute.
go,
Well,
Ron.
But
well,
but Ryan, I got a quick
I already
question.
know anyway. So
I got a quick
I tell you
question.
later, Antonio.
Do you think we're gonna make the playoffs or not this year? I know it's I know.
We don't know yet. We got to see what the team
Okay.
is going to look like first, bro. We
All
don't
right.
know yet. You're not going to be able to judge off of the draft is going to give you a trajectory in which direction they want to go. That's what it's going to give you. But you have to see this team, and Raheem's not going to do nothing in the preseason. We already know this. He said that last year. He's not playing starters. So what's going to happen? You got to wait till the first few weeks to see. If you want to be honest, you're going to have to wait for the first few weeks of this season coming up next year to find out what the Falcons are really about. That's the only way you're going to know, because they're not going to let anything out the bag, and they're definitely not going to divulge any information, because you already see that Kirk doesn't mind divulging information at this point. And it might be some more players who might be doing the same thing. That's all I'll say.
You better get ready to take this hit then, because there's
Yep.
no way he can stay with the Falcons.
No, you have to. I was
But
thinking
who's
there's
gonna
ways.
pick up that contract? I want y'all honest opinion on this, fellas. Who is gonna pick up that contract after they see the fact that now the Falcons are messed up? I almost said something. You know, I can't cuss on the show like that. But the Falcons are messed up when it comes to hiding injury reports and doing all that foolishness. Secondly, who's gonna take all that money for a guy that's not even 100%? And you already see what he's doing to one organization right now. What do you think he's gonna do to you?
Oh, he messed as hell. Hey, look at Nando.
No
Look
one.
at Nando comment, Ryan. The man looking like a bad batch of dope.
You got three teams, Ryan. You got the Cleveland Browns.
They don't want
They're not trading for him, Ron.
Wait a
them.
minute.
You got a chance
Then
for
let me
that.
throw out the teams. You
Yeah.
got the Giants.
They
Going
might
to
get
want
him.
to get a quarterback to teach the rookie, and you maybe got the Jets because the Aaron Rodgers situation, he might not be back with them next year. So the Cleveland Browns, because he knows the head coach, he played with him.
It's a
He
little
knows
bit more than 27 million, bro. It's around 60 because this in his third year to be in the 20, but his second year is still gonna be high because we still owe him guaranteed money this year.
Cousins might just need to go ahead and retire, because no team gonna pick him. That's real messy on his part. I understand why he did it, but at the same time,
Yeah, he's going to do what
nonetheless.
Matt Ryan did.
So
Yeah,
Clay
he's going to
comes,
do what Matt Ryan did. Like, if he gets released, he'll be on TV, maybe with ESPN or whatever. He'll be on that for a year, and then he'll actually get fully signed and then retire. But yeah, he ain't. Yeah, I don't know, man. I see us being stupid and actually having to cut him.
No, he about to do the Russell Wilson. He about to go somewhere and sign for the vet minimum while he collect the check from the Falcons.
pretty much. And here's the thing, as you can see, so Clay just put down, he said you really can't say what Kirk's doing to Atlanta. Yeah, they paid him, but they haven't done right by the man. You know what? As much as I would love to disagree with that comment,
me too.
I have to agree with him, because guess what? How are you gonna play somebody that's injured and you know that they're injured?
Right.
And now that he's coming out and saying it, we already saw proof of this with Young Wei Koo. So it's no way that we can say that they did Kirk wrong. We can never say that. Everybody just disappearing on the screen. What's up?
I'm still here.
We still here.
Okay, no, I was just making sure because I see everybody disappearing on the screen. I'm like, hey.
That's the Falcons. They're interfering with your podcast.
Look, I haven't fallen off my treadmill. I'm still here.
Hey, Corey. No, so I see what Corey is saying. No, I mean, on one hand, we can talk about the side that he wasn't playing well. Nobody's making an excuse for that. But now, and let's be real, Kirk kind of got a leg to stand on at this point. Because of the fact that he played a hurt kicker.
Yeah,
he played a hurt kicker. So at this point, you can't be mad. You can't be mad at him.
Yeah, not
You know,
just my
because we
podcast.
all
You said
complained
it a
about
lot
him
too.
not getting another kicker.
Yeah, because you kept saying it a lot, Ryan, about how look, if the guy's hurt, you put him on the bench, let the young cat go in. That's what you got to do. And we said that many times on our show, and yet Kurt was playing. And at times we're just going, what are we doing? So, yeah.
Hey, Red, you still there?
Where's the red guy?
Where
Red
Red
at
go?
work.
We see the screen. Did you
He at
disappear?
work.
Red's got StreamYard issues. It's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Okay.
We'll bring him back up when I see him pop up. But when you really look at this whole thing, it's a mess all the way around. It is a mess.
For real.
And all it's going
It's
to
an
do is get
embarrassment.
worse. Like, damn. Like, I look at it like this. Y'all, and we're not going to talk about this till Thursday. We already see New Orleans got problems right now. Serious problems going on. They can't even
They
let a
got some
coach.
real issues.
They got some real issues. Why the hell can't we go into a situation and be in the cut, worrying about next year, getting things fixed without dealing with off the field drama? Why?
But
That's my question.
That sounds too easy, Ryan.
it will not be the Falcons.
No, Blank wouldn't be getting sued. The team would be getting sued. It's not Blank because guess what? You're putting somebody out there that you know that's hurt or whatnot. So it trickles all the way down. So the organization would face a lawsuit.
So like Damon Wayans say, more money, more money, more money.
Since
And then you got players that are not going to want to play here because if they know Raheem's throwing people out there when they're not supposed to be, how are they going to be protected?
Since
That's
Coach
the whole thing.
Since
Like you
Coach
don't care about his
Cousins
players.
dry snitching on himself or the team, I don't think nobody would trust him in the NFL if he do decide to play again. Now
And
be honest.
I guarantee, like after that whole debacle when we first got him and they told him, like when you get interviewed what to say and what not to say, I'm pretty sure they done told him, like, look, don't get out there and tell nobody that you was injured. I'm pretty sure they done told him that.
I don't know that.
I guarantee they told him that, bro.
But now the cat out of the bag now, so I mean, no team will pick that up. They know you dry snitching on your team.
Like Ryan said, Kirk playing chess though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you playing chess, but you might well say your football career over.
No, because teams will still sign people. You know that, Ryan. If you got an arm and you are available to throw it, guess what? They'll sign you. I mean, they will.
The thing about it is a team that's knowing they can go and get Kirk. Like, look at Russell Wilson's situation.
But Russell Wilson
a team will pick Kirk up, like, for the simple fact, like, we ain't got to pay him.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying, Russell Wilson not talking out here like Kirk Cousins is.
Ryan, you're forgetting one simple thing. Ron, you're forgetting one simple thing. Whoever signs Kirk, their GM and their owner, their coach are going to look at him and go, shut your freaking mouth. Sorry, I had to stop it.
You owe me $3 for the tip jar.
Yeah, I'll put it in.
I got the square jar up in here. You owe me some money for that.
I know. Guess what? Hold on, I'll get it out of my wrestling gear. But yeah, seriously, you owe. They would look at him and they'd say, "Shut your mouth. You don't speak." Dude, that's why I said when it comes to accountability, we have none. Because I guarantee you other teams don't have this problem.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. Oh, I talked to Kirk. I talked to this guy. I talked to this guy. Oh, yeah. I talked to him the other day. Yeah. Other GMs will be like, don't say that. Right. Say it afterwards. But let's make sure we do everything right.
I bet you Raheem cursing and he mad today. You never seen that side of him, but I guarantee.
Hold on, Raheem is swinging in air. He's like, yeah.
But
Raheem went back to Boys in the Hood, and he was swinging in the air like Trey. Just swinging like Trey. Yeah, we speaking on it. And this that's what it is.
He Pelican Bay shoe program.
How
He own it
how
right now.
do
Oh no,
you
he ain't Raheem ain't as Raheem might be getting down to that part of Alonzo, but I don't think he is as ruthless as Alonzo. I'm sorry. He ain't ruthless like that. He a little too soft for that. Yeah, I said you're soft because you held on the timeouts. You don't know how to check folks, and you can't be straight. Hey, at this point, who you gonna blame? I know everybody mad at Cousins, but guess what? We got a new quarterback, but now Raheem Morris is pretty much being exposed. His dress is being pulled. Let's be honest. Kirk Cousins is literally pulling up skirts right now. That's what he's doing. He pulling up skirts right now.
Yeah.
And I say skirts because a lot of these dudes ain't got no pants in the front office because they've been neutered.
Nope.
Yeah, and I guarantee they're on the phone with his agent right now. What we got to do to get him up out of here?
They're all doing. Remember, they got to come together. They got to first find out if they can use toilet paper, and then they have to come together and go, okay, we need to make a decision on Kirk. Middle management, what do you say, Terry? So, they got to come up together.
We didn't get a new quarterback because of Raheem Morris. We got a new quarterback because of Terry Fontenot, because Fontenot was finally able to get a quarterback. Let's get that straight, because he was handcuffed when he first got here, and they took Kyle Pitts or whatnot, opposed to taking a quarterback. So he was handcuffed all those seasons until last year. So he went and got a quarterback. So that's not because of Raheem Morris. Raheem brought in Kirk Cousins. That was a Raheem move. He wanted to bring somebody in here with familiarity, big dog. Can't say that. So at this point, I'll say this. When we look at the fact that they doubled down on this, it's just what it is. They doubled down on this.
Yep.
Yeah, we doing a pop-up show today. You ain't gonna have an hour to talk today, big dog.
Oh yeah, I just want to say a couple words anyway.
With you, big dog. What's up?
I just want to say a couple words anyway, man, about my team. Honestly, because I follow them all on Instagram, and the strange thing to me is, if my team is behind Jeff Ulbrich, I am behind Jeff Ulbrich. Do I personally necessarily like the hire? I prefer Wink, but if I'm in their stories and they happy about Ulbrich, so obviously to me, that means the scheme finna change, and he's already talked to them about how that scheme is going to change.
What's your thoughts on Kirk Cousins today?
Yeah, because we all on Cousins making this comment. We ain't even think about the defense.
Look, I done already spoke my piece on Kirk Cousins. I don't mind him being the backup. I don't.
Did you hear the comment?
Wait a minute. Rich, have you heard about what he said today?
No, I actually been at my grandmother's wake.
Oh, well, you got to put him up to speed.
Hey, wait a minute.
Hey, we got to catch you up, bro.
Condolences to your condolences to you and the family.
Condolences to your grandma.
Bro, so I'm gonna let me enlighten you on a little something that you missed or whatnot while you were tending to family business and saying goodbyes or whatnot today. Kirk Cousins came out and had an interview today on NFL Network, and he spoke about him being hurt in the New Orleans game or whatnot, and still playing and being forced to play while he was injured. Not hurt, injured.
Oh, I knew that. That's not a secret.
But he verbally came out and said that today. So that's not a good look for the organization right now, because the NFLPA is about to look into it.
Nah, let me tell you. I've been saying that. I watched him. If you don't remember, I don't think people remember. Remember, it was a throw. I think he was trying to throw to Mooney, and one of the defenders hit him in the shoulder. I see they stopped it and showed it on the TV. So after that, remember, they slid him on the IR after that game. And then when everybody questioned the IR, they immediately took him off.
Yeah, because he had one full day of practice. That day they came back.
Remember in the Pittsburgh game, he was still gimpy or whatnot, too. Even in the Philly game, he was gimpy.
But they said questionable, and they slid him off because I think Adam Schefter or one of the major beat writers seen it and posted it on Twitter. And they immediately took him off. And that's why I kept telling people I don't fault him for the Denver game because he's been hurt. I've been screaming he's been hurt. He knew he was hurt. They knew he was hurt. And that falls. And see, that's where I started to question the organization because even though Raheem was standing behind him, I still don't feel like that was a Raheem decision to keep him on that field. I feel like that was because look, I look at it, I was just looking at it from a business standpoint. If I own, I got a business. So the way I look at it, even though my business ain't in the hundreds of millions, if I go and buy a truck for $100,000 and it breaks down, am I still gonna try to ride that truck and cause more problems with it breaking down, or am I gonna go let it sit and let it get fixed? And that's the problem that I had with Raheem. Am I saying fire Raheem? No, but I am saying that was like, that's a very, 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 very fireable offense because you basically put our season, the way I look at it is you put our season on a hurt truck. And you know how it is. When one thing go wrong, the other stuff in the motor start going wrong.
Because Penix should have started in that Denver game.
But let's be real though. We all talked about this because the first game that I realized Kirk was not all the way there, it wasn't that game. It was when we lost to the Saints. After that, and then they put him back the next week.
Yeah.
And you saw that he wasn't all the way there. And here's the thing. I know my man, GA Texas boy, you're going to bring up the numbers of the wide receivers, running back, and the tight end play. But here's my thing. Numbers mean nothing if you get no damn wins.
Thank you.
That's the problem with Atlanta fans. I'm a diehard Falcon fan. But damn it, numbers don't equal wins all the time, big dog. Like, come on, man. We definitely struggled because guess what? We put up numbers, yes, but we didn't put up the numbers that got into the win column.
Hey,
the
and you
win
know how
column
you telling
means
the truth,
more.
Ryan?
Come on, dog.
Nah, you know how you telling the truth though, Ryan? You don't remember that Detroit game? They had 5 interceptions and still won.
Oh,
so
I
numbers,
remember that.
So numbers really don't mean nothing, but I feel like it's egregious for you to put him out there, knowing he hurt, and that's not see. That goes to raise a lot of questions because we like to say how players bust and how players sorry and how players this, but that's like knowing you going to war. If you've been to the military, that's like knowing that your general that's trying to bark the orders to you is injured and can't stand next to you, but he gonna tell you, and he gonna send you out there with injured soldiers.
That's a no-no.
But
you
once
gotta
again,
have a wounded tended to.
Do you trust Raheem?
I'm gonna be honest. I do. I'm gonna tell you why I do, because I feel like ever since that Saints game when we lost, I feel like that call came from more so above his head, because what we gotta understand is it's still a business. When you spend $100 million, not saying it was correct to spend it, not saying we shouldn't have looked elsewhere. But when you spend $100 million, it's sort of hard not to.
But if
outside of your business theory, I'm gonna tell you just like this. Maybe Raheem Morris didn't want to be proven. He didn't want to be wrong. You got to remember, we got a coach with an ego issue for number one as well. That is a major part of it too. Let's keep that a buck, man.
He shouldn't have played in the Minnesota game
either.
So all I'm saying is this: if you have somebody injured, you got to sit them. Period. You don't send nobody out there that's injured, because guess what? They'll do more detriment to your team than they'll help. But Raheem didn't want to look wrong. As we all have said on this show before and other platforms that we've heard, the ego, here's my thing, and I said it, and here's the bad part. I quoted a Bible verse at the end, if you remember, in that episode. I actually quoted a Bible verse at the end, and I said, hands down, pride comes before the fall. It say that in the Bible. And guess what? The pride has already been in the way. The fall right now is happening. Now we got a chance to fix it, but he might fall down right now. He might get up, but right now we taking hits right now, all the way
But see,
around, fam.
But see,
You can't.
that goes to the reason why I say it's egregious is because I knew Kirk wasn't the only hurt player on the field. I was at the game. I literally watched Cool limp to the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here in the as close as we were sitting, I could see Cool limp on the field, make the kick, miss the kick, limp back off the field, and I'm like.
So
Then Judon was playing hurt too. Like it's a couple players that was hurt on that side, on them sidelines when I went to a couple of them games for real. We say what we want and wonder why the performance went the way it is. It was more, I knew then it was more than the scheme. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to play with players hurt, which I don't that's what I don't understand. Like if I'm a coach, right? And I keep screaming every day in the media, I'm gonna put my players in the best position to win. I'm gonna put how you put them in the best. Like we literally had this division damn near in week 5. No
right.
questions answered. So you did exactly what you said you was gonna do. You outran the South by week 5.
But
Week 6.
once again, I suppose trust you as a head coach. I cannot trust you as you know I injured. I cannot trust you at the end of the day. This is my body on the line.
But I didn't even trust him from the get-go because see what you got to understand is because I learned something about it. The only reason they didn't let y'all go to camp is because if you'd have went to that camp and seen Michael Penix throw that ball, you'd have never wanted Kirk Cousins out there when the season started. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the first lie. So I already knew this. I'm just hoping that you can coach these people into wins. You see what I'm saying? It ain't about trust. It wasn't about trust because I knew you lied about not letting people come to camp. That's why you didn't
Wait
play.
a minute, no. They actually were doing construction on the site, bro. That's the
the
reason why.
problem.
It wasn't because of Raheem. They were doing construction on that whole place, giving that place a facelift all the way around because we were rated one of the worst facilities during the offseason.
Now,
Yeah,
you
was
doing
I
a
was actually
facelift.
on the eye test round. Remember, I said I went out here.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't even turn down the road to get there.
They were fixing everything because we graded so poorly. The NFL actually stepped in and said, "Hey, you got to upgrade your facilities."
But you
They
know why I
literally
feel
stepped in
that's
and
an
said,
excuse too, though? I'm gonna tell you why I feel that's an excuse because when I was just finna say when he went out there in preseason, they only gave him 9 plays because they knew that if you see that boy throw them lasers out there, you are not gonna want to see Kirk Cousins. If
All I
that
just
boy,
want to do is
I'm
just
just
win,
saying,
man.
put your mind, just think about it. Think about how long it's been since we really won preseason games, right? Just say that boy went out there. The only reason they gave him, I watched people who graded them 9 plays and said, yeah, I see why they set him on the sideline. They seen all he needed to see out of him in them 9 plays. So in my mind, that tells me that you don't really want him to get open. You don't really want him to loosen up right then because if you see him throw them lasers he was throwing, whether they was on point or accurate or not, if you'd have seen that boy arm for, because there's a lot of people that don't know who he is in the fan base. It is.
unless you
Hey,
watch
Ryan, I got
college
a
football,
question.
that's the only reason you're gonna know who he is if you watch.
I got a
But
question.
think about all the people who don't. And if they'd have seen him throw that ball for real, they'd have been like, oh, no, we don't even want Kirk Cousins in here.
Remember the rumor mill after after the Saints game going into the Denver week when that thing came up about the players in the locker room was saying the best quarterback in the building was Penix?
What?
They lied about that. Come on, that's what I'm
do
telling
you
you.
think there's any truth to that now?
Yes.
But here's the thing that we all said. We said talent-wise, we said K-Dub was the first to say it. He was light years ahead of what Kirk was bringing to the table. We said the one thing that Kirk was bringing to the table was experience and knowing the offense. And I told everybody, I said, no, it's going to take Penix at least a whole year to learn the offense, the whole
that
season.
and footwork, too, because
Exactly.
I did notice his footwork.
He's got to get better. And he can work on that. That's minor things that he can work on in the offseason to get better at. But when you look at the fact that you got a guy that has no experience and you got a guy that has game experience, you're going to roll with the guy who's got game experience before you throw the rookie up in there, honestly. And that's generally how it's supposed to be. But if the rookie outplays the veteran, you're supposed to make better judgment. Because I'll give you a perfect example. Like I said, I'm gonna give you my little historical thing right now. So I'm gonna live up to my nickname. Go back and look at the 1985 Cleveland Browns. You had a young Bernie Kosar who was a rookie. And if you're a college football fan and you can't stand him and his mouth pisses you off, Gary Danielson, who used to call all SEC games with Vern Lundquist, he's still around. Gary Danielson was the starting quarterback at that time. He lost his job because, ironically, he injured his elbow, just like Kirk, elbow and shoulder. And guess what? Bernie came in and took the job. Gary never got that job back. He had to leave and go elsewhere. So again, it happens all the time. And let's be real, that Browns team got deep into the playoffs into the second round, and they lost to Dan Marino's Miami Dolphins that year, who ironically lost to the Pats, and then they lost to the 85 Bears. So again, when you look at that, you had a rookie to come in, take over in a pivotal part of the season, and then take those guys to the playoffs. We almost had that with Michael Penix Jr. this year, period. So I'm just throwing that out there in this situation. You can even go back to Brady and Tom Brady and Drew Bledsoe. That's another one that's more modern for you.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not mad that he sat behind Kirk, because who else better to sit behind? You see what I'm saying? So even he admitted that he know football, but he learned how to be a professional from Kirk. So he learned how to study for game time from Kirk. Because like he said, Kirk got a notebook so big, Kirk showed him how to study. So I'm not really mad at that, because I know what they were trying to do, but I just still feel it was a grease. You were really trying to let them work through it.
So at week 10, we had how many games left? 7?
Yep.
Yeah. But
I'm not saying it was right for them to let him work through it. All I'm saying is I understand what they was doing, because they had already said we weren't going to see Michael Penix till 2027. That was really their plan.
But I can only imagine what we would have had in Penix had he started that Denver game.
Now, if he just started coming out the bye, Ryan said he was supposed to start coming out the bye. Everybody said.
I was the first one to say that, because you came in afterwards and you was just like, I said, at this point, while we still have a lead and we still got a chance, guess what? You got to throw that up.
Because weren't we 6-4 when we went in the bye?
Yep.
So
yes,
if
we
you
were.
Brought Penix back during that,
and remember,
when you put Penix in that second half of that Denver game, boys didn't really know what to do with him, bro. They really
here's
did.
The thing. I think Kirk should have been. I'm gonna be honest. I think Kirk should have been benched after that. After the New Orleans game, you lose to a 2-7 team like that. That's just me. And then you lost the week before to Seattle because you played horrible. You
really should have got pulled after that Seattle game, in my mind.
No, I'm just saying the New Orleans game should have been, been like, all right, this is how you make your redemption. After that, then you get pulled. Like, all right, I got to make a change.
Because if it weren't for us, Seattle wouldn't win. I mean, Saints wouldn't win on that run. They went on. The Saints went on the hellfire run after they beat us.
But remember,
dropped the draws against Tampa.
Cousins also made mention of his ankle too, though.
Yeah, but you think. You don't remember in that Denver game when what's that man on their defensive line? A beast too. He went at Kirk ankles. Y'all didn't see that. That's what I kept saying in your life.
I know you're talking about.
But and when Ryan came up after that game and he said this, Ryan even said, okay, we see where he at now. We need to go on and pull him after this Denver game, period. Because we seen the guy go for his legs, and then he got hit in the shoulder again. And guess whose side it was on? Caleb McGarry.
We still said he had a shot. That was the whole thing. We still had a shot. You know what I'm saying? Even if we'd have pulled him out at that time. And here's my thing. If we're going to sit back and look at, how can I put it? If we're actually going to sit back and break things down, and look at how things should have changed, you already know that you're going to need somebody to protect Michael Penix Jr.'s blind side. You know this. At this point, you've got in this draft, I don't care where the hell you get it. I want a top guy, but if you don't get a top guy, there's enough talent in this draft to where you can bring a guy in that can start. But I've already said, you got to go get a right tackle to protect Penix's blind side, because McGarry is going to miss at least 3 or 4 games out of the year. It's guaranteed every year. He's always hurt around a certain time.
Hey, and then the crazy part is McGarry good against the good D tackles. He bad
against run blocking, he is not pass blocking. TJ Watt was whipping him like a redheaded stepchild at damn Kmart back in '85. Let's be 100. He was tearing his ass up. And then it gets better. In Philly, he was getting tore up. In Philly.
Hey, but
you got tore up again, Minnesota.
Nah, but if you don't remember what Arthur Smith said about Jalen Mayfield when we played that what game? Then we might have played the Steelers. You don't remember when Mayfield had to go out there against somebody? He said sometimes you got to get baptized.
But he been getting but his thing, he been getting baptized since he was drafted.
But that's what I mean. How long is it gonna be for him to wake up and be like, you know what, I need to be on my. How long it would take?
See, my only thing is if you get a right tackle right in this draft, I wouldn't put him in instantly. I think you got to gradually put him in because I don't want our run game to take a step back. That's why I really don't want to lose Drew Dahlman neither.
See, I think we're gonna pay Drew Dahlman so he don't go nowhere because he fit the system.
But see, if he want top dollar, I don't think they're gonna pay him.
I don't think he want top dollar. That's just my opinion. I think he want a little bit more. You see what I'm saying? Maybe 18 million, 19 million.
That's the thing. He may want to. We may think he want a little more, but see, ain't no telling what them other teams are. Because these teams need. One thing I realized after watching this playoff game, if the Texans had a center, they'd have been better. A lot of these teams need positions that we're strong in, as far as on our offense.
Right.
I ain't gonna say
how many of these teams that go far in the playoffs? If football would start right now, and you'd be like, oh, that team to go far, Atlanta to go far, or whoever else. How many teams that need a center to go real far right now?
See, that's the problem because I want us to keep them because I know good and well we were supposed to have been there this year. Truthfully.
Right.
So next year, I feel what you're saying because I really do want him to take the minimum, not the minimum, but I do want him to get paid.
Right.
Because I don't want to. One thing I'm gonna tell you how I really honestly feel about the draft, the tradeaways, and all of that. I really don't want him to touch our offense, not even Kyle Pitts, at least for one more year. I'm just gonna be real. Get rid of folks on the defense. I'd rather you get rid of Onyemata and all this, and I really want you to draft a right tackle. And what Jake Matthews play left tackle. I really want you to draft one. Either pick up one in the draft and get one in the free agency or something for both of them because our offense too potent.
I'm gonna hit this in the chat, but I also gotta holler at my man GA Text boy. Look. I wrote it to you in the chat, but I'm going to say it publicly since you did put it out there. Listen, Caleb McGarry has been bad in pass protection from the day we got him. Right. You're just bringing up this season to fit your argument. Don't do that. If you're going to talk about a player, let's talk about the fact from the day we drafted him all the way up until now. He's a better run blocker than Mayfield was, but McGarry has been trash. I'm sorry. Y'all looking at just this season. I'm looking at the whole body of work. The whole body of work is not perfect. Everybody wanted him up out of here.
And then the crazy part is, truthfully, if we do get rid of him, we don't draft nobody, I'm not mad.
Oh, I got to do this here to be on the humble side because this is how I am. And you know what? I'm going to let the respect and the apology be just as loud as the disrespect. So that is my mistake for misreading your comment. But me and you done had comments about McGarry being that bad. So I do apologize about that. So that's on me. I messed that up. Very rare that it happens like that, but I'm willing to apologize for that because I was wrong in that aspect of coming for your neck. But I'm used to coming for your neck because we always going back and forth. But
Yeah.
I want to apologize to my guy GA Tex boy. He definitely is one of my favorite folks that's in the chat, and definitely will come on the show and talk ball. So it is what it is. But getting back to it, Rich, because we're gonna have to wrap up in a few minutes. When you look at it, the part of competency from leadership has got to get better. It's got to get better.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
And the thing is, and I got you on that, Swole. We said he's good in run blocking. That was what we were saying earlier. But you have a quarterback that is a left-handed quarterback where he's going to be backside where he's not going to see anything. And that's going to change the whole blocking scheme. That's going to change the way that things are done. You have to be able to have somebody that you can trust to protect his blind side. Because if we got this franchise quarterback that we want to do well, and he's pretty much laying on his backside because McGarry can't protect him in the blind area, what good is it him being here? Hey. What good do we have somebody to protect a franchise quarterback that we want to thrive in the future?
I disagree with that comment that was just on the screen, because I've literally watched a game with that one there where he helps out Lindstrom. No, Sirski. No, Sirski. I'm not going for that because I done seen too many games where the reason Lindstrom can't do his job is because he's over there trying to help McGarry then get back to his spot. But by the time he try to get back to his spot, the play already blowed up. So I really disagree with that. Yeah, we need him in the run game, but I've literally watched Storm Norton in the pass game do way more than Caleb McGarry. Now, is his run game suspect? True indeed. But and that's the only grace I got for McGarry is the fact that when we need yards, we can run to that right side, that guaranteed. But other than that, when it comes to that pass, and go back and watch that film, man, look, Lindstrom is helping McGarry because they have nobody out there to chip block, which is why
they started using Charlie Warner.
That's why he got more snaps than Kyle Pitts. That's why I say I don't necessarily want to get rid of Pitts yet. Because
you about to start a whole nother topic. Don't do it, because you know I'm ready to jump on that one.
But no, I've literally seen Lindstrom. I've literally seen Lindstrom. Because I've literally seen Lindstrom out of position because he's helping McGarry. In the Steelers game was the biggest one. That first game, Lindstrom couldn't do his job because they put Caleb McGarry. Lindstrom had to help McGarry with Watt because he kept getting blowed up. So every time Lindstrom helped McGarry, he's out of position.
That was let's just be honest. That was just a good old fashioned ass whipping.
Yeah, it was.
Taking
but he needed that.
That was just one of those ass whippings that grandma's Lysol couldn't wash out. That's how vicious that ass whipping was he took. I'm sorry. I ain't look. I've seen old linemen get whipped, but I ain't never seen NFL linemen get whipped that bad. Good Lord.
That's why I want Jack Sawyer.
You want Jack Sawyer? Here's my thing. I told you who I wanted the offensive tackle spot, and I don't know if you got to watch the Senior Bowl this weekend. I know you was dealing with some things or whatnot, and I definitely get it. But my man Carson Vincent, I told everybody wants to say, oh, you just want to draft all these HBCU players. He was rated the best O-lineman out there because he handled Mike Green, who everybody in the Falcons franchise wants. He handled Savion Jones. He handled that kid Walker.
No, I agree with you, Ryan, because that boy from Albany State is who I keep saying because I actually watched him play.
Oh, you talking about the kid from Albany State? I'm talking about the kid from Alabama A&M.
No, I'm talking about him too, but I'm talking about for defense. I want that big boy from
Albany. Talking about the kid? Okay, yeah, I'm good with the kid from Albany State coming in. He's playing in the Heritage Bowl. No, I'm sorry. Let me stop messing that up or whatnot. He's playing in the HBCU Legacy Bowl that's coming up soon, but Carson Vincent was a guy that I've talked to. Vincent, that was a guy that I talked about from last season, and I've been watching him. The man has only given up 10 sacks out of 4 years. Think about it. 10 sacks in 4 years that he's given up. And he didn't give up not one sack his senior year. All his sacks came earlier. And he also plays every position on the offensive line. Every position on the offensive line. And
that's why I wanted him. I want him too.
Because think about it. He can play right side, left side, and center. He can do all three.
Because matter of fact, he is the anchor on that Alabama A&M O-line.
Yep. 6'6". Think about it. 6'6", 315, and as strong as a bull.
So why people worry about his pad level then? Is it because he's 6'6"?
Yeah, a lot of the time it's because of the height. But here's my thing: Anthony Munoz was a tall tackle. Freaking Jackie Slater was a tall tackle, and I mean, hell, you can even look at Bob Whitfield. Bob Whitfield's a tall dude. You know what I'm saying? And you look at a lot of the tackles that are great. Guess what? If they have height, it's hard to go against somebody with long arms. It's hard to go against somebody with good hands. So all I'm saying is we really got to look at the fact that we need help at that tackle spot on the right side. We need help fast.
So, that's
a fact.
So
I'm mad we didn't get I think when he came out last year, I kept telling everybody I wanted that center that Lamar Jackson got, Linderbaum or whatever his name was, about 6'6", 6'7", and look what he did. That's why I was saying why people worry about pad level, because he was like 6'6", 300 and something himself. And I told everybody, boy, we need Linderbaum at center. Even though I love Drew Dahman, but I want us to get another Alex Mack type of center, a big boy that know how to make the call.
The only way to get one though, we need to trade for one. In the NFL.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna look at centers or whatnot, you really gotta look at some of the prospects that are out here at this point, because there are a ton of guys out here that can play. Ton of guys out here. You got Jared Wilson from Georgia right up the street.
Yeah,
man, definitely is a monster at that center position. You got Jake Majors from Texas. You got Seth McLaughlin, like you said, out of Ohio State. You got Cooper Mays out of Tennessee. I mean, there are many guys who can play that position. Like hell, you got Drew Kendall out of Boston College, 300-pounder that's 6'4". Anything that's above 6'3", I'm fine with playing at the center. Hell, and I'm also gonna give one of my guys from the HBCU level some love. There's a kid by the name of Ezra Dotson Onyemeta.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, Onyetunde. Onyetunde is 6'3", 300 pounds. He plays center, and if you actually look at it, he's literally been a guy that was a rotational piece at FAM, but he became a starter pretty much around his sophomore year. So when you look at it, he's a guy that you can get for little to nothing, but you bring him in and you school him under Dalton. That's my thing. You school him under Dalton. You don't have to have a high round draft pick for a center. You can actually bring a guy in and school him. So it's many guys out here that you can talk about. So at the end of the day, we gotta build from the inside out. That's how we got to do it. And a lot of people are like, well, no, we need this. No, listen. The reason why we can't win games and we haven't been able to control anything is because we have not controlled the line of scrimmage consistently, offensively or defensively. And until we can control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, we will never be a championship team. And with me saying that, we getting ready to conclude today's show. We appreciate everybody for stopping in for the pop-up show. We got the regular show coming up Thursday. We're going to dive more into this on Thursday, as well as talk about what's going on with the New Orleans Saints, and they're living up to the reputation of the old medieval times or whatnot with the holy errors. And let me be careful how I say that, because I don't need to get canceled or whatnot. But we'll dive into that Thursday. We got some other stuff that we're going to dive into. So we definitely appreciate everybody for popping in for the pop-up show, because this right here had to be talked about today.
Yeah.
This had to be talked about today with Kirk Cousins in the interview that he had. So my name is the Historian. Appreciate my man Ron. Ron, tell them where they can find you at, bro.
You can find me on Talk Your Ish. Come on Tuesday nights around 8 o'clock. We talk about everything. You can find me on the Bird Cage. Sometimes you can find me on the Big Game. You can find me everywhere. Pops and the Henry Brothers on Thursday nights around 8 o'clock. So,
Rich, what you got, man? Let the folks know where they can find you at, bro.
Man, you can find me on Dirty Falcon Podcast, at Dirty Falcon Podcast. And you just find me floating around everybody's YouTube channel. I've created, great relationships with Ryan and a lot of other people. And I really appreciate and love y'all for letting me come up and talk my Falcon-ish, because I don't know. I'm going to be honest, boy. We've been staying in the media a lot in the last 2 years, boy. I don't know if they doing it on purpose or if it's a PR stunt, but we've been in the news about good and bad. So, I love it.
Hey, at least we talked about, we're at least respected to where people can actually know who we are. So it is what it is, man. Appreciate you coming through, big dog. And as we say up in here, man, you either get right or get left. And like I said, man, you got right for stepping through here. Let's go ahead and get you to subscribe so we can continue to keep bringing you the content that we bring you. We have interviews that are going to be coming up this off season too. Please don't miss out on that. So we don't want you to get left, but just go ahead and get right. So now I'm getting ready to get gone. So y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe out there, and we'll catch you on Thursday at 8 p.m. Ghosts.